We've been off the air a bit because of a busy sports month, but we have seen just as much news, especially national stories with far-reaching implications here at home. Let's start with the whirlwind effort in Washington to downsize the federal government.
The people voted for major government reform. There should be no doubt about that.
President Trump put billionaire ally Elon Musk in charge of trimming government agencies and saving money, a mandate Musk claims Trump voters demanded at the polls. He says he wants to target wasteful spending and pledged to cut at least $2 trillion out of the federal budget. So far, many of those cuts have involved slashing the workforce. Some 75,000 federal employees took buyout offers. Many others were laid off or let go at agencies across the board. The federal government is Kansas City's largest employer, and we have heard several stories of layoffs at agencies in town, like the IRS, in the thick of tax season. And in this frenzy of firings, we've already seen an about face, one that affects national security. Last week, the Trump administration scrambled to claw back more than 300 workers it had abruptly fired at the National Nuclear Security Administration. That's the agency tasked with managing America's nuclear arsenal. The NNSA has a major field office in Kansas City. This is one of many moves sparking several protests across the country.
Hey, I'm on board with efficiency, saving money, but I don't think it should be on the backs of our federal employees.
Many workers, some of whom said they voted for President Trump, seemed shocked they were being let go as part of this major government reform Elon Musk claims voters demanded on Election Day. That reform is affecting public health, too. Cuts are in the works at the Food and Drug Administration, the Centers for Disease Control, even the National Institutes of Health, and not just for staffing. Also in jeopardy, medical research projects designed to help save lives. And many of them are happening here at home, like Children's Mercy Hospital working to fight chronic kidney disease in kids, and the University of Kansas Medical Center studying to slow the progression of Alzheimer's. A new change means the NIH is slashing support for indirect research costs for these institutions, what you might think of as traditional operating expenses, facility, administrative costs, that sort of thing. Last fiscal year, the NIH issued more than $901 million in grant money to institutions in Missouri. Of that, more than $100 million went to indirect costs. Kansas institutions got more than $140 million, with about $35 million in indirect costs. The Trump administration's capping or severely limiting how much of those indirect costs the federal government will now cover. Questions are swirling about this right now as legal battles play out. And we've reached out to many of the institutions in our area for comment, but staffers tell me they're hesitant to say anything as they wait to see what happens. Let's get to the heart of the matter with Dr. Elena Fuentes-Affleck. She's Chief Scientific Officer for the Association of American Medical Colleges, which represents several medical schools and health systems in our area. Thank you so much for being here and talking about this important topic. First off, help us understand the impact of these changes. What do they mean for public health?
The impact of the proposed changes in support for facilities administrative costs would be devastating in Kansas City and all across the country. The NIH for decades has supported research through two types of funding. One we call the direct costs associated with each project, and the second part is the facilities and administrative costs, which, as you note, are operating infrastructure core expenses associated with doing research.
So it's impossible to do the research without the administrative backing, correct?
Absolutely. The facilities and administrative cost component of every NIH-funded grant support costs such as IT security, hazardous waste management, water, electricity, IT support, the very much essential infrastructure costs associated with doing research.
We know your organization, AAMC, along with other groups, has sued the NIH now, and grant cuts are on hold. What are you hearing right now from your member institutions?
Our constituents, we represent the medical schools across the country, including, as you noted in your introduction, several in your area. Our institutions are very concerned. First of all, this came with no advance warning, and the proposal was for the following business day. Institutions plan to support research on a very careful basis, and they would need time to accommodate any change, much less a change of this magnitude and drastic nature.
The whirlwind, I think, is what's most striking about this, even on an objective level, with NIH cuts and even other departments, other agencies, that they're being told, hey, this is going away tomorrow or within 24, 48 hours, that sort of thing. But I imagine the research component, that time is a factor for some of these projects, correct?
Absolutely. There are some types of research projects where every day is important. And I'm thinking specifically of clinical trials. You mentioned in your introduction clinical trials at Children's Mercy for kidney disease for children, for example, or Alzheimer's. For diseases for which clinical trials are an important way to advance our knowledge and identify new treatments, clinical trials are absolutely essential. And enrolling patients in trials, ensuring their ongoing engagement in the trials, the administration of those clinical trials materials is essential for those patients. So it's not the same as delaying an experiment by a day or a week or whatever amount of time. For some of the research that is done, every day makes a difference. And that is why the sudden and abrupt nature of this announcement is so alarming.
What would you say to the people who look at the state of the economy and say, look, the last thing we need to spend money on is research right now?
Research, especially NIH-funded research, represents important advancements in science and medicine that have affected, I would say, every American family. If you have or someone in your family has a chronic disease like heart disease, like diabetes, like cancer, if you have a rare disease affecting someone in your family, if you have many types of health conditions, then you have been affected by the advances made and supported by the NIH-funded research. So science and medicine are fundamental to our daily experience, and the NIH has been, for many decades, the world's largest investor in biomedical research, and we believe it is essential to ensure the health and well-being of our population that the NIH-funded support continue.
All right, we'll leave it there. Dr. Elena Fuentes-Affleck with AAMC, thank you so much for your time.